Hello everyone, my name is Mark Rotrum and I'm from TurboQuale Developer Network, and today I'm going to be showing you my third, I think, that might be fourth, C++ tutorial. In the last tutorial of last two, I think, I have chucked a load of information at you. I didn't really want to do that, that's why I spaced the void argument and returned 0 into a second tutorial. I didn't want to make the first tutorial extra long and throw it at you just like that after I taught you the printing functions. But today we're going to be talking about variables, and I won't be storing text in variables, strings. I'll be storing numbers in integers, and that's as far as we're going to get the next few tutorials. However, next tutorial we will be creating a calculator, and I will be teaching you how to gain user input and store it into a variable to do this calculator. So firstly, we're going to have to create a variable, and we can't just write, for example, a equals 5 or b equals 10 and then just print those two together. We're gonna have to specify what type of data type variable we're gonna be using, and then the name, and then we're gonna do the value. And supposedly we can just write int a, and then we can do a equals or whatever, but that isn't what we're going to be doing. So as soon as we're going to be storing numbers, I'm going to be using integer, and I'm going to write int, which is the short keyword for integer. However, I don't think you can just write integer, you have to write int, and then the name of your variable, and I'm going to use a, and I'm going to do a space and then equals, as I'm assigning what value goes to this variable, and I'm going to make it 10. And then at the end, as usual, we have to do a semicolon. And if you're used to Visual Basic, you're going to have to get used to a semicolon. However, if you know other languages like C# or C, then you'll be used to the semicolon. And yes, that was a bit stupid. Why would you be learning C++ if you know C? However, some people do learn C first. Some people do prefer it, but yeah. And now I'm going to create another variable, and I'm going to call that variable b, and I'm going to assign it to the number 5. And now I'm going to create another variable called answer, and I'm going to equal that sum to, actually I'm not going to equal it to anything. I'm just going to do, there's a semicolon after I've integered it, said it's integer, and then the name. And now over here I'm gonna write answer equals a plus b, and this might be incorrect. I think I've just written out C or another language, and if I have, I'll go back to it and I'll correct it, and yeah. And now I'm gonna print that answer to get A and B added together. So the answer should be 15 if you know math, which you should be. You should know basic math like that if you're learning how to program. So I'm going to use my print function, cout, and my insertion operators, and I'm just going to print answer, and then I'm going to end L. And when you're printing a variable, all you have to do is write the name. You don't have to do any of that speech mark rubbish, well, not rubbish, but speech marks. So I'm gonna compile, and I'll know instantly if I've done that wrong with the answer equals a plus b, as it will return an error, as I did the return 0, which it would do that anyway. But. Oh, and you don't have to add void to the int main to use the return 0 function. I was just showing you how to use void a little bit. Okay, so it's compiled correctly, so that was correct. If you want to create a variable and then assign a value to it later on, you just write the variable name, then do a space, then the equals, and then, for example, I wanted to add those two into it, so I added 15 into the variable. So now if I go ahead and I debug this application, and yes, oops, I forgot the system.pause. System pause. And now if I compile that again, sorry for the coughing on the microphone. I just got such a bad cold. Okay, so and I debug. We get our answer, which is 15, and then we get our press any key to continue, and I'm just gonna continue. So that was a very short tutorial on the variables. However, I'm not done yet. I'm going to teach you how to do some more with variables. So to start with, I'm going to remove this int answer and the answer variables, and I'm going to wait. No, I can't show you because I haven't told you if statements yet. But in the next tutorial, I will be teaching you the if statement, and you will be learning the if statement, and then we'll be checking to see if two variables like a and b. So we'll be checking to see if 10 is more than 5, and if it is, then we're going to print on the screen 10 is more than 5, and if it isn't, well, actually no, that's the else statement. I'll go into that after. So yeah, that is all I've got for this tutorial. It was very short. Only about 7 minutes from now. But in the next tutorial, like I've just said, I'll be teaching you the if statement, and I hope you guys are picking up C++ very well. You can always go back and rewatch the tutorials or do some googling on to find out more information about the functions like the IO stream, the namespaces you can use, int main, different data types, cout, and stuff like that. But just on a recap, cout stands for console output, int stands for integer, IO stream is a library we are using, namespace std is using the namespace standard namespace, int main is telling the compiler that's what to do first in the application, return 0, and the return 0 is telling it that there's no errors in the application, that everything ran fine, and system.pause or the system pause is telling it to stop the application so we can view and possibly interact with it. So I think last tutorial I told you we will be getting into getting user input, but I'm gonna save that for another tutorial, and the reason for that is that I want to teach you other things like if statement, else if, etc. before we start getting user input. And it won't be, I know I said next tutorial we'll be doing a calculator, but no, we're going to be doing if statement in another tutorial after the if, and maybe else as well. We'll be making a calculator where I'll be teaching you the cin function for getting user input and storing it into a variable. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe, that would be nice, as this is posted on YouTube as well. Yeah, that was it. See you next time.